Hello everyone and welcome back to a new episode from Spice and Easy Kitchen. I hope you are doing well. Today's recipe is a Swiss roll prepared in a simple and easy way. I hope you will enjoy it. Here I have 130 grams of flour. I also have 5 eggs and 90 grams of sugar, but I used only 80 grams. This is to slightly reduce the sweetness. And I also have 50 milliliters of oil. I add 50 milliliters of milk, 4 grams of baking powder, and a pinch of salt. I also need half a spoon of cocoa powder and 1 sachet of vanilla. We start by separating the egg whites from the yolks. We will prepare each part separately. I continue the preparation and I will come back to you. I take the egg yolks and add a small pinch of salt. Then I add half of the sugar, which is about 40 to 45 grams. The other half of the sugar will be added to the egg whites. I add the vanilla and start whisking the mixture. I whisk until the mixture becomes pale, fluffy, and well combined. This is the result we are looking for. This is the correct texture that we need. It becomes light and thick, and now we move to the egg whites. I start whipping the egg whites while adding the sugar gradually. The sugar is added little by little, not all at once. Here we get the perfect texture, which is a smooth meringue. Now I gently combine the yolk mixture with the meringue. I mix everything very carefully. I start with a small amount and mix from the bottom to the top. This helps keep the air in the egg whites for a soft texture. This is what gives the sponge cake its lightness. I continue mixing gently to keep the batter airy. I mix until the batter becomes smooth and well combined. Now I add the flour gradually. I always mix using a hand whisk. I continue until all the flour disappears completely. In a bowl, I mix the milk and the oil in equal amounts. That is 50 milliliters of each. I mix them together very well. I divide the batter into 2 equal portions. In one portion, I add food coloring. I add red coloring along with half a spoon of cocoa powder. I mix everything well until combined. It is important to sift the cocoa before adding it. I then mix gently to keep the texture light. I add this mixture back into the batter. I mix carefully from top to bottom. We obtain a soft velvet sponge cake with a nice color. Only a small amount of coloring is needed. Now I prepare the second color. I add a small amount of blue food coloring. You can choose any color depending on your preference. I fill the piping bag with the batter. I mix lightly, and if the batter feels too thin, you can add a small amount of flour. This is the final color we want to achieve. Now I fill each piping bag. After trimming the edges, I start drawing the lines. I repeat the same process again. I continue like this until everything is finished. I bake at 170 degrees for 10 to 12 minutes. Once baked, I immediately flip the sponge cake. I remove the baking paper carefully. I gently cover the sponge cake. This prevents it from drying out. I prepare a little cold water. I lightly moisten the sponge cake. Now I whip the cream, which is already sweetened. I start slowly at first. I continue until the cream reaches a smooth texture. I add a small amount of vanilla. I mix again gently. This is the correct consistency, so do not over-whip. I place the cream in the fridge and prepare the sponge. I carefully unroll the sponge cake. Sorry for the cut. I continue rolling it. I refrigerate it for 3 hours. After that, I move on to slicing. I cut the roll in this way. I clean the knife between each slice. I decorate the pieces with a little cream. I finish with a light dusting of powdered sugar. This is today's recipe. I hope you like this recipe. Don't forget to leave a like. Subscribe and activate the notification bell. See you in the next video.